I've tried hundreds and hundreds of apps, all in the name of trying to boost my productivity. I've split this video up into 6 different categories: note-taking, life management, to-do capture, calendar management, habit tracking, and reading. I find like the best apps are the ones that are just good at one thing or just good at a focused set of things. So I wanted to share these 6 apps with you guys I've been using now for a number of years to help boost my productivity. Starting with note-taking. Now for note-taking, I use Apple Notes. Just an FYI, I am totally team iPhone at the moment, and I've been using Apple Notes for a number of years. I think for me, a note-taking tool needs to be really easily accessible, and there's nothing more accessible if you're in the Apple ecosystem than Apple Notes. Just the way you can so easily think of something and then get it down into Apple Notes. I think that's key. There's almost no input lag when you open the app, but you don't even need to open the app. If you have an iPad, you can just draw something with your pencil or start writing down on the lock screen. You can swipe up from the bottom corner, either on a Mac or an iPad, to quickly bring up a note. You can quickly access your Apple Notes from Control Panel or using a shortcut on the iPhone. It's really, really easy, and I think that's the thing that has kept me going back to Apple Notes. I think the folder management system is fine. It's got all of the basic functionality down. You can now link one note to another as well. It's iteratively year on year becoming a more and more useful tool. It's such a basic tool, but ultimately sometimes basic is best. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm locked into the Apple ecosystem, but hey ho. The second category is life management. And for life management, I use Notion. And when I say life management, I mean things like tracking my money, my goals for the year, things that I'm tracking around my YouTube channel and the content I'm creating. I write my resume on Notion too. So any kind of long form writing and general life management stuff, it's so intuitive. It's such an extensive, but also such a simple tool to use. And Notion can really be whatever you want it to be. I really highly recommend trying it out if you're looking for one central place. If you store loads of stuff in spreadsheets and Dropbox folders and stuff like that, try Notion as like the one-stop shop for all of the stuff that you care about that you need to kind of dynamically update every so often. I also have it synced up with my Amazon Kindle account. So all the highlights from my Kindle automatically sync to a page in Notion, and all of that is stored in Notion as well. The best thing about Notion is if you're an individual, it's completely free. And if you're wondering why I don't use Notion for note capture as well, there just seems to be a bit too much input lag when I open the app. It doesn't have the same level of accessibility as Apple Notes in that it's not integrated into the ecosystem. And so therefore there's just a little bit more friction in capturing notes, which has made me just stick with Apple Notes for now. Next is to-do capture. I use Things Free for capturing all of my to-dos. Things Free is such a good app that I actually switched back from Android to iPhone just because I missed Things Free so much. And I felt much less productive having not used it for a year. And I think that speaks to the power of Things Free's user interface and user experience features. It's really, really simple and really intuitive to use. It's got buttery smooth animations, but at its essence, it's just a simple to-do list application. I love the fact that the developers as well have stayed really true to what they're building. They easily could have added like bloatware on this app and charge a subscription, and I'm sure some people would have paid it, but it's a one-off payment on Mac, iPhone, and iPad. But once you've paid it, that's it. Yes, it would be great if it had like calendar management features and all this other stuff, but I think it would take away from how good the tool is at doing this one thing. That being said, there is one thing I wish it had, which is the ability to add attachments to my tasks. That would be really handy, but I'm sure there's a cost associated with that, which is probably why they haven't added it as a feature. But for me, it's pretty much the perfect app because it makes me feel productive when I wake up in the morning and I draft my to-do for the day. It just feels good. Next is the calendar management category. And as an individual who doesn't necessarily need lots and lots of calendar features, I have one shared calendar for my house. I use Fantastical. Fantastical is fantastic for 2 main reasons. The first is it's got some amazing widgets. Again, the UI and the UX is incredible, especially for the iPad. There are some really nice widgets which really make it easy to navigate your calendar without even needing to go in the app. And the other great feature, which I can't believe other calendar apps haven't copied, is that they've got this split view where you can see the calendar at the top and then a list of all your events at the bottom. And as you scroll either on the top or the bottom, you'll see the other side dynamically update. And it's so intuitive and it just helps you understand what's coming up in your week or in your month. For those 2 reasons, I think Fantastical is a great offering. It's completely free for all of the things that I've just mentioned. And there are other business company type tiers that you can pay a subscription for. But honestly, You're just an individual. You do not need any of that stuff. So give Fantastical a try. For habit tracking, I've been using Streaks, and I've been using Streaks for a number of years for two simple reasons. One, it's not subscription based. Again, it's a one-off cost, which I think psychologically just makes me feel good about using the app, that I don't need to keep paying for it. But the real killer feature in it is that you can create habits and have them synced to your Apple Health data. So if you're using an Apple Watch, it automatically syncs with different habits that you want to create. So for example, I create one where I want to sleep for 7 hours every night, and I want to track how many times I am sleeping for 7 hours each night. And without having to do anything at all, my streaks are automatically filled in based on when I'm going to sleep and waking up. That information is then all stored, and I can go into my analytics and have a look back for months and months and months and have a look at when my best streaks were, what was going on. And I just really love the fact that it's all kind of automated. You can do the same thing with exercise. You can do the same thing with like drinking water and whatever. Anything that you can track through the health app, you can then automate as a habit within Streaks. And you can also have like non-automated habits where you manually press down and complete your ring for the day and build up streaks of habits. And there's something really clever about the fact that you're building up a streak and it's showing you really clearly how many days in a row, and you really don't want to lose out on that streak. So really highly recommend Streaks, give it a go. And the final category is reading. And for reading, I use Reader by Readwise. Now we all have busy lives and we all get sent stuff and we don't have time to read it. And having a Read It Later app, I think, is essential for everyone. And this is the best Read It Later app I've come across. It is a subscription-based app. So it's the only app that I'm recommending here that does have a subscription associated with it. But when you look at this app, the UI and the UX is incredible. When you save stuff to the app, it completely removes all distractions. And you've got this lovely reader view, which is really fluid. You can really clearly focus on the article that you're trying to read and then really easily highlight bits of the article that then sync to your Readwise account. There are also really good Safari and Chrome extensions, which means it's really easy with one click to send stuff to your Reader account and actually start reading it in a more focused way there and then on your browser. It also does PDFs, EPUB files, YouTube video transcriptions, and Twitter threads. So it's not just for reading articles. You can pretty much read almost anything on it. And when you pay for the subscription, you're also paying for a Readwise account. So all of your highlights are synced to your Readwise account. And with that, you can also sync your Amazon Kindle account to it and then have all of your highlights in one place, which you can then export to a tool like Notion, which is what I've been doing, which I mentioned earlier. And then when it's all in Notion, you've got pretty much all of your highlights captured in one place, be it from the web or from books on Amazon Kindle. And then going back to Notion, I actually use Notion AI, which is a paid subscription, to then research based on all of the highlights I've captured over the last few years. If I'm looking for a particular topic, let's say it's tell me all the stuff I've captured about happiness. All of the stuff from my highlighted books and articles are accessible by Notion AI. And then I can really easily start thinking about maybe a YouTube script or a blog or whatever. By all means, if you're looking for a better Read It Later app, try this one. So there are my list of apps based on those 6 categories. These are categories where I have tried so many different apps, and the apps that I've mentioned in this video are the ones I just keep coming back to. I'll leave a link to each one in the description below if you want to give them a go. And which apps have you been using lately? Have you been using any of the apps that I've mentioned, or are there any other apps that you think I should try to help me feel more productive? If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you want me to be your personal productivity coach, feel free to subscribe for more content like this on your timeline. My name's Ez. See you next time. Stay productive.